Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the latest edition of Wow, Lynch, Wow, dedicated to filmmaker David Lynch and inspired by the triumphant return of Twin Peaks. A friendly warning to everyone who isn't caught up on all 16 episodes of the new Twin Peaks. There will be spoilers and they will begin shortly. So viewers and listeners, be warned. Part 16 begins with Bad Coop and Richard Horne driving around a dark road. Bad Coop has received coordinates from 3 people, and 2 of them gave matching numbers. So that's where Bad Coop tries first. Jerry Horne is running around confused with a pair of binoculars. Bad Coop sends Richard in the direction of the place with a special device that beeps as you get closer. Richard inspects the area, and when he excitedly proclaims he's reached the spot, he is violently electrified by some unknown force that destroys him. Bad Coop bids his son a final farewell, and Jerry Horne is absolutely horrified, and he blames his bad binoculars. Bad Coop sends a text with a smiley face that reads, all. Hutch and Chantel are staked outside the home of Dougie and Janey-E. Chantel is snacking down on some junk food as they wait. Suddenly, 2 FBI cars pull up. It's a 4-man team that includes Wilson and Headley. They still haven't managed to find the right Douglas Jones. Headley starts yelling at poor Wilson, and they head to Lucky 7 as Hutch and Chantel watch on. Cooper is in a coma. Janey-E and Sonny Jim are seated by his bedside. Battling Bud busts in to visit, and the Mitchum brothers come bearing gifts. They meet Janey-E and Sonny Jim for the first time. Every kid needs a gym set, and everyone has got to eat. So Candy and her sidekicks bring in some food, and the Mitchum brothers get a key from Janey-E so they can bring even more food to her house. Gordon Cole is standing around in a room filled with a lot of equipment. Janey-E takes Sonny Jim to the bathroom, and Battling Bud watches over Coop. Phil calls Bud informing him the FBI are looking for Dougie, and they're en route to the hospital. Battling Bud looks caringly over Cooper. Hutch and Chantel are still staking out Coop. The FBI are also back staking the place out, and Chantel is still munching on snack food. They all watch as a white limo pulls up, followed by another large vehicle. It's the Mitchum brothers, and Candy, Sandy, and Mandy. They're dropping off a great abundance of food. Suddenly, some guy pulls up behind Hutch and Chantel complaining that they're blocking his driveway. Chantel becomes agitated, and the gentleman goes to move his car, but instead he rams into their vehicle. Chantel is angered by this, and she fires off a shot. The dude shuffles out of his car and around to his trunk, and he returns fire. Hutch thinks it's time to go, and when Chantel tries to drive off, the angry gentleman opens fire on them, violently killing both Hutch and Chantel in the process. What kind of neighborhood is this? People are under a lot of stress. Such wisdom from the brothers Mitchum. The FBI moves in on the angry gentleman, and the Mitchum brothers decide it's time to get the girls and get the hell out of there. A humming sound like the one from the Great Northern can be heard in Cooper's hospital room. Battling Bud investigates the source of the sound, and one-armed Mike appears. Coop sits upright. Mike says, "You are awake." And holy shit, Cooper is back. He says 100%. Holy shit. Mike informs Coop that his doppelganger is still out. Mike hands Cooper the ring. Cooper asks about the seed, and Mike shows Coop the gold pearl. Cooper asks him to make another seed, and Mike understands. When Janey-E and Sonny Jim return and see Cooper, he is in full Cooper form, but he seems to remember his life from when he was mistaken as Dougie Jones. Battling Bud is thrilled, and Cooper asks him for some of those sandwiches. The doc confirms that Coop's vitals are A-OK, and he's leaving. And holy shit, he really is back. FBI Special Agent Dale Cooper, and he's in vintage form. Janey-E and Sonny Jim take note of the fact that he's talking more than usual. Cooper asks Battling Bud for his concealed weapon, and Coop asks him to get the Mitchum brothers on the phone. Coop tells Rodney that he's bringing his family to the casino in 20 minutes, and that he needs a plane to Spokane, Washington. Rodney is fired up, says he's gassing up the jet, and he informs Bradley, and he's fired up too. And the girls are coming along for the ride. Cooper tells Battling Bud he has a feeling that Gordon Cole will call, and Cooper gives Mullins a message for Cole. Cooper thanks Bud for his kindness and decency, and when Bushnell asks what about the FBI, Cooper responds, "I am the FBI." Cooper drives and Sonny Jim and Janey-E are with him. And once again, the FBI team misses out on finding the right Dougie Jones. Janey-E and Sonny Jim are mighty impressed by Cooper's driving prowess, and Coop seems to enjoy his first drive in 25 years. Diane receives the text from Bad Coop with the smiley that read all. Diane is visibly shaken by this. She says, "Oh, Coop," she remembers. She sends a list of numbers in a return text, and she is carrying a gun. Diane marches her way to Cole's room of equipment. Cole senses she was coming and tells Diane to enter. Albert and Tammy are present, and Diane tells them about the last night she saw Coop 3 or 4 years after his disappearance. Diane said Cooper just walked in one day, and he was asking all types of questions about FBI activity, and she described how he attacked and raped her. And then afterward, she said he took her to an old gas station. Then she looked at the text and said something about a sheriff station in the coordinates, and then she said repeatedly, "I'm not me." She then reached for her gun, but Albert was quicker on the draw, and him and Tammy gun her down, and Diane vanishes. Tammy says, "Wow, they're real. That was a real tulpa." Cole is confused about what Diane meant when she was talking about the sheriff station. Diane's tulpa is in the Black Lodge. Mike tells her someone manufactured her, but Diane informs Mike that she already knows this before delivering a final F.U. Then Diane vanishes like Dougie before her, leaving nothing behind but a gold pearl. Cooper, Janey-E, and Sonny Jim all arrive at the casino, and they are greeted by the Mitchums. Cooper tells Janey-E and Sonny Jim that he has to go away for a while, and he has a touching goodbye with them, where Janey-E and Sonny Jim are visibly distraught by this news. Coop slips up and mentions Dougie will be back before correcting himself, and Sonny Jim is all broken up. He gives them both a final loving hug and says one day he'll be through that red door and home for good. Janey-E tries to stop him and begs him not to go, but Cooper has to go, and she gives him a final kiss and says, "Whoever you are, thank you." Cooper departs with the Mitchum brothers, leaving his family abandoned, dejected, and heartbroken. So now the Mitchum brothers know that Cooper was an FBI agent who was missing for 25 years, and that he needs to go to the Twin Peaks Sheriff Station. Bradley reminds Cooper that they love him, but that they aren't traditionally welcome at such places or by such people. Cooper assures them, however, that he is witness to the fact that they have hearts of gold, and Candy merrily agrees. What a joyous bunch. Eddie Vedder is performing at the Roadhouse, and holy shit, it's Audrey and Charlie. They finally made it. They have an awkward toast before Audrey's dance is announced as the next song. Everyone moves to one side of the room, and Audrey begins dancing to her theme song in vintage form, and the crowd sways along in unison. Charlie watches on, Audrey is doing her thing, and the crowd's loving it. The entire scene is suddenly interrupted when one scumbag smashes a glass bottle on the head of another scumbag over someone's wife. Audrey runs to Charlie and says, "Get me out of here." Audrey is then suddenly in a white room looking into a mirror, and she appears frightened. Then we see a band playing backwards in what appears to be the Black Lodge. And so ends part 16. So the big takeaways for me from part 16. Number 1, Ed Cooper suggested he got the coordinates from 3 sources. He got them from Philip Jeffries, he got them from Ray, and he got them from Diane. 2 of the 3 matched, so 2 of the 3 set a trap for him. Which 2 set the trap? Was it Ray and Jeffries in cahoots with one another? I don't think so. Cooper wanted Diane to kill everyone after Richard was destroyed. So I think it's clear Cole and Albert were setting a trap. Who else was in on the trap? I'm guessing it was probably Philip Jeffries. We know he's tried to kill Bad Cooper previously. That would mean Ray probably provided him with the real coordinates, even if Ray wasn't aware of it. Either way, Philip Jeffries' agenda still remains a mystery, and Bad Cooper seems like he's inevitably headed towards Jackrabbit's palace. Number 2, I think there is some type of connection between what's going on with Audrey and Diane. Diane was manufactured, a tulpa. When she kept repeating, "I'm not me, I'm not me," it seems as if Diane herself just recognized what had happened to her. I believe her tale of rape was real, and that Bad Coop took her to the convenience store to manufacture a copy, so that he would have an inside spy with a personal connection to his cover. So we can assume the rape tale was real, and we now know for certain that Bad Coop also planted his demon seed in our beloved Audrey's garden. I confess, I'm still not entirely sure what to make of Audrey's situation. I'm not saying Audrey's a tulpa too, but her flashback to the mirror, that kind of visualized what I was imagining when Diane's tulpa was recalling her own creation in the convenience store. Could Audrey be stuck in a place somewhere like the convenience store? Whatever's going on with Audrey, it seems to be directly connected to the fate of the 2 Coopers. Number 3, who the hell was that gentleman who took out Hutch and Chantel? When I first saw him, I wondered if he might be the guy from the photo with Bad Coop, or maybe it's the Philip Jeffries imposter. But whoever he is, he sure kicked a lot of ass. Number 4, so the gold pearl is actually a seed for manufacturing tulpas. I could be mistaken, but I believe this is something different from a doppelganger. Diane is a tulpa, Dougie was a tulpa. Cooper seems eager to use Dougie's seed as a means of producing another Dougie, presumably so he could fill the void of the real Dougie Jones by granting a new one to Janey-E and Sonny Jim. Diane also mentions something about the sheriff's station, and that's where Cooper is headed. Does this have something to do with Naito? And if seeds are created in the convenience store, can the real Diane, and perhaps the real Audrey, both be out there trapped somewhere in an unknown realm? And number 5, holy shit, FBI Special Agent Dale Cooper is back. All of his memories seem intact, not only his old memories, but also his memories as the absent-minded Dougie Jones. But does he remember what Laura whispered to him? The moment Cooper snapped out of it, he got right back to work. He's heading to Twin Peaks with the Mitchum brothers. Will he make it in time for Jackrabbit's palace? Will he be able to somehow defeat his doppelganger and send him back? Will he be able to find Laura? And will he somehow be able to make amends for the destruction his doppelganger caused during the past 25 years? To be sure, we know that Bad Coop killed his fair share of lowlives, scumbags, and criminal degenerates. But he's also ruined some good lives. Chief among them, Audrey, Major Briggs, Annie, and Diane, at least among those that we know of. It will be interesting to see how Cooper tackles these challenges and how he juggles these morally complicated matters of lives that were ruined by his shadow self. However things play out, I believe that Cooper is now planning to have a new Dougie Jones made for the purposes of Sonny Jim and Janey-E, But in the end, if circumstances afford him to do so, depending on how he rectifies matters with people like Audrey, and maybe Diane, and maybe Annie, I believe Cooper will return to life with Janey-E and Sonny Jim himself, where they do make a wonderful, loving family. As for part 16, forget the word powerhouse. This was an absolute masterclass of epic proportions. As a longtime big-time fan of Twin Peaks, I honestly don't think it could get much better than this, because the anticipation for next week's finale is going to have me scratching all week long, because I'm just itching to see how this all ends. I'm just itching to see it. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please share your thoughts in the comments section and have a wonderful night, everyone.